Principal, Shanthinikethana School, a very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Ms. Anupa Gnanakan, Director, ACTS Group of Institutions. Let's put our hands together and welcome her. She's not here. She's not here with us. Okay, unfortunately, she has not been able to make it here. And let's put our hands together for Dr. Harshita Sharma, Founder, Director, Brainstorm International School. A huge round of applause and a very warm welcome, ma'am. Let's welcome on stage Mr. Manish Rastogi, Group CEO and Wholetime Director of Z Learn Limited. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Huge round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ashok KM Gowda, Chairman, Ekam Group of Institution, Electronic City. A very warm welcome to you, sir. A huge round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Pritam Kumar Agarwal, Founder, Director, Hello Kit. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Let's give him a round of applause. Last but definitely not the least, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Deepak Agarwal, Founder, Cubs, the Preschool and Cubs Sankalp School. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause. Behind why we have to clap, I happen to mention that all our body organs are in our palms. So when we clap, it's an automatic exercise. And while sitting here, clapping, spreading warmth, you're exercising and keeping your body and organs healthy. What a beautiful science, right? So can we hear it for all our esteemed panelists on stage? A huge round of applause for them. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And over to Dr. Sami Ulla. Yeah. So please take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much to ArdorComm, Mr. Chandan, and I've been interacting with Pranali and getting us all together, both K-12 and higher education at one place. So good to see you all. Being an educationist for the last 25 years, feels so good and warm, with all the educationists around. It gives one vibe. There's something called vibe. And when you enter a school, in the first 5-10 seconds, and a visitor, when he comes, he seems to get that impression how good or bad the school is. It's just a perception, but definitely counts. But till the time he lives. So what the impression that we give is very, very important. Anyway, we are into this digital world, and we'll be talking about the digital experiences that our co-panelists have undergone and how it could help you. If any of you can add a little more value, it will be really very helpful. When we are talking about digital Bharat or digital spaces, the world, technology is very key. Technology is the one which has really the potential to, take the learning space to get more engaged, connected, and personalized. How we can empower our students. So we are basically from a generation who traditionally were teacher-centric. Now the whole thing is converted into learner-centric, or what we call student-centric. And if we have to do it, either we go back to the Gurukulam days, or exist in this and see how we can get good things from there. Skill again is very important. If we are talking about 21st century, we only talk about skills. It's not about education, not about learning, not about knowledge. How we convert all these things into a skill. And we know Microsofts or Googles of the world, they are more keen on skills than on what certificates or degrees do you have. And are we grooming our children, our students to that level, be it in the school level, be it in the preschool level, or in the higher ed level? So let me immediately start off with the preschool, and I have on my right Mr. Pritam, a good friend of mine, know him for last more than 10 years. A very specific question to you, Mr. Pritam. This is mostly to do with the pedagogy, how we use technology in the pedagogy, and what ways can technology help every child in the classroom where he feels included, inclusive, and how valued he feels from your perspective.
Thank you, Sami sir. Friends, I am much more an early childhood educator than a school educator. And trust me, I was just attending a session yesterday by Apple Education, right? And there is a there is nothing what we all talk about pandemic time when we understood technology for classroom, which is necessity. It's not an optional as of today. And going back to the classroom and on my questions of how a child is using technology in the classroom by way of a gadget or without a gadget in hand. So when we talk about a gadget, it may be a tab form, right? A mobile which somebody is recording it in terms of voices, somebody is searching on internet, somebody is collaborating on a classroom itself. There's a live which I am able to see children from 7th, 8th and 9th grade where they are using technology in the class and they are collaborating live through the readers or listeners or the professors across the globe or the facilities available across the globe. They are learning, they are listening, they are searching in terms of a text or a voice messages. They are designing. Gone are the days of PPTs when they are really using AI to find out the right sentences, making their own videos. So that is all happening. Coming back to the early years, when we say that we don't want to give them a gadget in hand, when your sensors works. So we at Hello Kids, we use a technology, we are associated with a company called Edujo, right? And where we don't, see, not even a parent, even we as teachers, when a child is 2.5, 3, 4 years, and they're coming to a school for 2.5 hours, we don't want to give them a gadget in hand to play for some games or activities or writing or whatever it is, but we want him to use the body sensors, right? He should not be on a table and chair just watching a video or an audio, right? Listening to an audio. He is playing on that, using the technology which is what you call a sensor. He is playing, he is moving on the space. He is really not he is not sitting ideal in a place and listening or seeing it. He is really moving the body to see the activities, what is happening. So friends, it is not only a technology which can give you an observation or an assessment, which we are all already using it, but in terms of play also we are able to use the technology.
And good, we are talking about motor skills
Yes.
in a child and how you are using a gadget to enhance his motor skills. It's awesome. I mean, it's really, mine never went towards that. We have all these Montessori material and using a gadget is very, very important because that's the future.
So with the help of AI technologies, giving a personalized learning, it is happening.
Right.
We are already using as an assessment tools happening. But as a play also for an early years, it is possible through the sensors, motors.
Through play.
How Sony PlayStation and see, we have started using all in classroom for the last 2-3 years. But Sony PlayStation or a sensor-based games, it is available for the last 10 years.
Correct. Wonderful. Moving forward, we also should talk about the equitable access. So I come to Madam Shwetha, Madam. What practical steps could your schools, does your school or any other school take to support students who lack devices? See, devices, when we mean, it's not only just the computer lab or the Wi-Fi. It's beyond that. So how do you feel that you can support the underprivileged or slow learners? How do you think we should, help them cope up with?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Good morning, everyone. The digital divide, what we talk about, it's getting closer day by day. Maybe in tier 1 cities or schools which are in urban, these kind of situations are very less, where accessibility to device or internet is low. Especially in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, this problem is still persistent. So in such cases, I feel that loaner devices can be given. How we distribute books, in the same way, maybe we can take help of local sponsors or any philanthropists maybe Rotary clubs or Interact clubs and ask them to please sponsor. We can also refurbish the old computers and provide the devices. It's just not providing devices. Again, there's a question of accessibility to internet. So in that problem, yeah, we can provide mobile hotspots, Wi-Fi hotspots to the children. And beyond just not the accessibility to the device or the internet, the question rises how safely, responsibly, meaningfully they are utilizing these devices, and internet comes as a question. And as teachers, I think you can be more creative. You can create a lot of offline learning opportunities, creating printable worksheets, reading materials, or any books. Encouraging children to reading books is very important now. And you can also give USB drives where you download some pre-recorded lessons and you can share it to the children. You can share even the YouTube videos where it is downloadable, and then some recorded lessons can be given. And most importantly, what I insist on is the project-based learning. Most of the schools have ERP nowadays, and every communication goes on ERP. Why don't we insist children to write? Diary writing practice is gone. Now, I think in the audience, there are a few English teachers who give diary writing in the assessment. But when you don't make it as a practice, as a daily activity, then what is the point in that? We talk about CCE, continuous and comprehensive evaluation, but we don't ask them to write or make a note of few things. And further speaking about project-based learning, we can also encourage where you can ask them to do some projects without the use of internet. For example, they can create a mini ecosystem in the school, or they can plan a budget for the school event. There are a lot of things which children can do even without internet. Those were the days where without internet and computers, we have learned much better. There was a lot of connectivity. They were to the nature, with the people. There were more of hands-on learning. So we talk about AI, the intellectual quotient, but on the same lines, I also insist on the hands-on learning very much. And further going, yes, I have seen instances where children are more equipped to AI nowadays. Any kind of assignment you give, they go to ChatGPT, just copy the things. They don't even comprehend. There was a similar situation for my daughter when I was traveling for 15 days. And she was being given a worksheet with a lot of application level questions. She's too small where she can't download any apps as such. I was wondering, seeing her answers, completed answers. So I thought, how did she complete? She just opened the Google Lens, clicked on it, and typed answers for it. So all the answers came up. I was shocked. Okay, you did a good job, no matter how you did it. But did you read and comprehend it later? That was my question. So I insist, children, how safely, how responsibly they use is more matter than just providing them with the opportunity of gadget. And we talk about inclusiveness and then the equity. So equity and inclusiveness really stands hold only when they use it very responsibly.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam. Equitable, yes. It should not happen only. It is to the people who can, or the parent who can provide the resources. When you are talking about equity, even the underprivileged also should be able to get that kind of support. See, equity here, when we are talking about ChatGPT, it's only the digitally literate child, even if he's a 4-year, 5-year child also is able to do, but the same thing can we see underprivileged doing. So what is the competition that we are talking about, or comparison that we are talking about between these two? Coming to further continuation, Mr. Rastogi, we are talking about again how to integrate curriculum with the digital tools. Curriculum here includes content, curriculum here includes the teacher support, and how does the learner happen to learn from this? So if you can throw some inputs in this.
Hi. To answer that question, I perhaps need to A, keep an eye on time, and B, tell a little bit about my own background. Uh, I perhaps have the least experience in education in this entire room. I've had an entirely corporate career, more than 30 years. I stepped into the field of education about 6 years ago. But when I did that, one of the things that struck me is a question that we grappled with and then came out with a new curriculum. The question went like this. Every child gives the exam of the 12th standard, and every child gives the same exam. But the exam of life is very different for everybody. Why? And if that is so, every child needs to be taught uniquely. And that is what inclusion is all about. Inclusion is about not just bridging the financial differences, the digital differences, the physical and mental differences that may be there between children, but also making sure that every child gets unique education. And so my organization, ZLearn, we bridge the entire spectrums from pre-primary schools to K-12 schools, vocational education, coaching, tutoring, university, everything. And we set about trying to create a curriculum from scratch. We launched it a year ago. And we decided to combine digital education or digital as a medium with experiential learning. And we were fortunate that we managed to do that with a curriculum by the name of Litera Nova. It gives us the power to get the children to use the multi-disciplinary approach, the 5 minds talked about by Howard Gardner. It uses the VARK model of learning, so it stimulates children visually, orally, kinesthetically through reading, writing. And ultimately, the app allows children to get excited when they see an augmented reality video. It allows children to use a chatbot in multiple languages. They can even write a quadratic equation on paper and step by step get it answered. It allows offline downloading, because today we are present in tier 3, tier 4 locations where you don't have net at home. It allows parent-teacher monitoring. It allows interactive assessment. So just to end the point I'm making, digital combined with experiential learning can provide inclusive education and stay globally relevant.
You're right. See, education should be personalized, as you say. It is different. Each child is different. The way he has the grasping power, the acquiring of skills, acquiring of the knowledge, attention time. So all this differs from each child to each child. So, like I said earlier, either we go towards curriculum or try to be in this modern education and try to see what all tools we can use to make sure that the child ultimately benefits for him and the acquiring of knowledge and skill happens. When we are talking about digital literacy, as you mentioned, Mr. Harris, is that it's not only the tool, how we utilize the tool is very important. Like for example, if you're teaching geography, can we use digital maps? If you're using science or maths, can we use graphical tools? And there are various, if we want to do assessments, can we use Magic School? So there are many AI tools as well. How good we utilize these tools and ensure that, the kind of learning that we expect happens in the class. So going beyond, again talking about building digital literacy, when we are talking 21st century skill, coming to Dr. Harshita ma'am, how do you feel teachers, how we can empower the teachers, and what is the kind of skills we need to teach them to get their learning outcomes?
Okay. Thank you so much for this question. I think when teachers weave wisdom, the digital literacy becomes a lifeline of the education. It's with the intention that how much we can, balance the hybrid model, which is very, very important, because since morning we had been talking about the skill development and then going to the motor skills and the project-based learning, inclusion, everything. right? So in the classroom, today's scenario is all about teacher, tell me how, not what. How to explore, how to create, and how to experience which is there. It's a facilitator where a teacher guides the students with the uniqueness of their intelligence and can have a basic knowledge of the few tools which are related to the students, which will make more sense. Like if they are actually, if for the language, in the English class, a teacher can have a book creator, maybe a reflection can be on a flip, and maybe a visual demonstration can be on a Canva, and Canva for education, what you have it, a science and a maths, and you can have like on your Google Sheet, and you can have the reflection on Jambolt, and then you have maybe the social science coming live and having the global perspective with the Wakelet, and they can have the collaboration with the Padlet, which is there. And for the inclusion, definitely the Microsoft, education, which is actually very good, where you have read and write, which have a pedagogy and quite a few insights on how every child is seen, heard, and noticed, and there's something for every child which is there. So if you're aware of at least few basic things and can weave this, digital literacy in the education ecosystem, and that's what we're looking at, the 21st century teaching learning skills, and we all learn in the class along with the new generation, raising the global leaders which are there.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
it's all about how we co-create this culture and adapt this literacy as an ongoing learning journey.
Two very good points, Dr. Harshita ma'am. One is the teacher you pointed, and the culture. Culture is the key. What is the culture we are incorporating as what the culture? Culture includes the values. Culture includes the kind of technology, the kind of methods we all deploy, and what kind of teachers we have. Teachers are the backbone. So without teachers, it's not possible, whatever said and done. So whether the teachers are motivated to use, we saw in pandemic how we quickly shifted to digital tools, and what happened after that? People started saying blended education, hybrid education, but have we lived up to that? Is it required, not required? I mean, this is all, lot of presumptions were made, but ultimately, when we are talking about AI is nothing but technology here, and the way AIs come up, you mentioned, these are the tools that every child should know if he has to be digital literate, if his digital quotient has to go up. And that's what 21st century, we like it or not, repeatedly mentions that digital literacy is key in this. So coming to the future ready mindset, again about the culture, I move on to Ashok sir, a man who's been in education for a really long time. He's third generation, you have got?
First generation.
First generation, acha, but he has got a lot of relatives who are also into schools, and he's been in the education. I see him in many forums. So from your perspective, what do you feel? If you are talking about future ready mindset, you're talking about lifelong learning, you're talking about equity, how can schools create a long-term vision where technology becomes a support for inclusion and equity for the students?
When I was reading my question, it was long-term. In technology and long-term, or I feel that there is a duality here. Because technology is the one which changes every minute. And probably what we learn today and what we learn tomorrow will be very different. But the interesting point is, we all educators are teaching how a child should learn. Most of us are in the same arena. Macaulay came, and Macaulay was the only creator, including Sami sir was speaking about Gurukul education system. In Gurukul education system was also about how we learn. I keep learning till the last breath, or probably we will continue to the next janmas also. We keep learning. That is what is the education all about. whether it is technology, or whether it is emotional learning, or anything else. So that keeps transforming. And one more thing is about equity. Equality or equity, whatever we coin it as, there are two terms here. One is social equality. Technology has definitely created a platform wherein socially everybody are at the equitable level. But economical. For example, some of the schools where the fees is around 10 lakhs, the technology is given to them at much faster pace, and every technology is known to them. As Shwetha was mentioning, that about the tier 2 or tier 3 cities wherein the affordability of the education has become a little challenging, or some kind of challenges are there. The technology, what kind of a tool is given, is minimal, or the exposure is very less. Here, I just want to recall 2002, wherein Dhirubhai Ambani, wherein all our calls were, incoming calls were 12 rupees, outgoing calls were 12 rupees, incoming calls were 8 rupees. And suddenly this man comes up with an idea, and today, probably more usage is by the rural people than us. So this, in terms, from 3-4 days, 3-4 weeks, we have been debating that the need for reservation in India itself among the social groups. I keep saying, then the need was different because the information was not available. Now the information is available. So the idea of reservation itself should change. Now similarly, one visionary who has lot of money like Ambani or somebody else, I'm not just naming one person, somebody should come and do that kind of a technology wherein it can reach everybody at the most affordable price. Probably then we can bring in the equitable long-term technology to every citizen of this country and to the world. Thank you.
Agreed, sir. Very nicely said. Yeah, it should be first affordable, but what is in our hands is that how we can help them at least utilize either in the school or after school. Shwetha madam already spoke about something called digital divide. See, digital divide is every child benefiting into this? Is every child participating? Is the assessment personalized learning, so-called we call that? Is it happening, and can it happen through manual process or technology process? Are everyone part of this drive? So I will go back to Mr. Deepak and ask him, what do you feel? Where do you think there's a digital divide? Furthermore, we can enhance into the school community.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. When we talk about the digital divide, it's a simple definition. Like, if you have an access or no access to the digital tools or the internet, and that gap is known as the digital divide. And digital divide is existing, no doubt. So if we go by the UDICE plus data, there are roughly around 14 lakhs schools in India. Out of these 14 lakh schools, around 53% of the schools are having functional computers, and roughly around 56% of them are having an internet access. So whatever the leftover balance is the divide. Now that divide is more predominant in tier 2, tier 3 cities, I believe. Why? Because I belong to tier 3 city called Vijaypura, wherein we have many schools and preschools. And the kind of divide we see starts from the teachers. As you know, there is a Bachelor of Education which is mandatory for teachers, before they can be recruited and, start teaching students. They have a subject called ICT, Information and Communication Technology. Now, tier 3 colleges, just to get that recognition part, they show some 5 to 6 computers in their lab and they get the recognition. And that is where the hands-on experience goes for the toss, for the teachers. And teachers find it difficult to have that much needed hands-on and practical exposure for these computers before they can complete the B.Ed course and start teaching students confidently in the schools. Now, it becomes the school's responsibility to train these teachers, make them knowledgeable enough with these devices, be it computer or tab or whichever technology-oriented devices are there, and then they are, going to make that divide reduce. When it comes to parents, that is the second portion of this divide. Many parents think it is not yet the time for the students, to get that exposure. I mean, for their children. They think still there is an age factor. They let him grow up, let her grow up. Then we are going to get that device. Why? Because they are going to misuse it. They will play games, they will watch videos, they will watch YouTube and whatnot. So again, there is a divide. That is where they face problems. Especially that is what I have seen, among our parents in our school. So basically, this is the divide that we should be, monitoring and caring about. And the best way to come out of this is definitely not to pressurize our parents, telling them that you have to go for it, no matter what is your financial condition. And definitely we cannot go and change the entire system in the B.Ed colleges or the colleges which are offering B.Ed courses. At our school level, we have to start that. We can be more flexible with our, lab hours, wherein we have full-fledged labs with the computers and the internet connection. And we can give that the much needed flexible hours, post-school hours, without disturbing any of the, timetable, the fixed timetable, wherein students can access these computer labs and get that much needed exposure part.
Right,
so this is where we can.
Exactly. I think you have brought out very apt thing how to close this divide, digital divide. But let's accept the fact that there is a divide and there is a lot to be done. What role we as educationists have to play, either, like for example, we have a couple of CSR schools where we did, no interest EMIs we offered to our CSR students. We tied up with a vendor who could do it, and we got almost like less than 70% of the new gadget. So there are various means, but we have to do it and we have to cover up this gap. It's not a short term, it's a long term. And as Ashok sir said, it's learning. When Howard Gardner started, he said there are only 8 intelligences. But then he came up with the 9th one and said there is, of course, digital. We don't know what else will be 10, 11. Some say spiritual intelligence, whatever. But it will keep going on. But as on today, I think technology is playing a very, very big role. Thank you, audience, for being such a good audience to be a patient listener to whatever is said. Thanks to my panelists, the experts who have lived through it and who have done it. And we got to learn from these. And over to you from here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's give a huge round of applause to all our esteemed panelists here. Thank you very much for sharing all your valuable insights. Means a lot to all of us here. And to felicitate our esteemed panelists, I request Mr. Chandan Anand to kindly come up. First and foremost, our session moderator, Dr. Sami Ulla M, CEO, Mega Educational Group, for efficiently facilitating the panel discussion. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time and efforts right here at the Digital Bharat Education Conclave 2025. Requesting Ms. Shwetha Sumanth, owner and principal, Shanthinikethana School, to kindly accept this token of appreciation from Mr. Chandan Anand. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Requesting Dr. Harshita Sharma, founder, director, Brainstorm International School, to kindly accept this token of appreciation from ArdorComm. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for being here with us. Mr. Manish Rastogi, Group CEO and Wholetime Director for Z-Learn Limited. Thank you, sir, for your time and valuable inputs. A huge round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Ashok KM Gowda, Chairman, Ekam Group of Insitution, Electronic City. Sir, kindly request you to accept this token of appreciation. Thank you very much for all your valuable inputs. Means a lot to all of us here. Mr. Pritam Kumar Agarwal, Founder, Director, Hello Kids. A huge round of applause for him, ladies and gentlemen, for all the valuable inputs and his time here on this stage. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Deepak Agarwal, founder Cubs, the Preschool and Cubs Sankalp School. A huge round of applause for him as well, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your time and valuable inputs here. Thank you very much.